Floowandereeze returns with some cool innovations here. Therions are back for their 19,000th time with some cool things, and it looks like Altergeist doesn't want to stop trying to be something relevant. Like the 33.8% of you guys have not smashed the ever living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get further along to 100K here. So what you see on your screen here looks like a basic Floowandereeze list, right? Well, here's the card that everybody tells me is going to be bad, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Players don't understand for 500. Declare a card name. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects with that same original name as the declared card for the rest of this turn, and then you cannot activate cards or effects with that same original name as the declared type for the rest of the duel. Here's the thing that players don't understand about this. Yes, this only works during your turn, but unlike Prohibition has to stay face up on the field in order to interact, alright? This gives you a one-turn no to the opponent and gives you the chance to play anything. If your opponent has Ash Blossom or Joy Spring, any sort of like negation, interruption that the opponent puts up, you get to spot removal take care of, alright? And that's where this card really gets to shine here. Now, something interesting here, we're also playing Numbers in Veil here. So if your opponent only controls a monster, special summon from the extra deck. So as long as you don't and your opponent does, alright, choose 4 number exceed monsters with different ranks from your extra deck and special summon 1 number exceed monster from your extra deck with a number in its name equal to the total number that those all add up to. And if you do, attach all of those numbers to it as material, but you cannot special summon monsters except for exceed monsters, alright, while that card is face up on the field. Alright, so here's an interesting little interaction point with this. What we got for numbers in here? So we got F0, F0. Alright, we don't care about that. We got C1, we got Rongo Raminia in here. We got Pain Gainer, we got Lucky Straight, and we have 77 Sins. We got Stealth Kraken here. I love the fact that you get to do some interesting little combinations of things in here. Alright, you also have the Chaos Gate in here as well. So you just add up the numbers, make a combination exceed monster, and just laugh at your opponent effectively. That seems very interesting in terms of things that you can do with this deck, alright? And I mean, considering the fact this deck already doesn't care about committing to a larger summon, because, you know, you're just shoving things up in the extra monster and you don't really care about your extra deck. This just says, alright, opponent, we're going to make something really cool here. What are you going to do about it? So we have 1 singular Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 copy Barrier Statue of Storm Winds, triple copies of Yield Dimension Shifter, gotta love blanking the graveyard, triple copies of Vegan, then we have 1 copy of Big Ol' Impen, triple copies of Rabina, 1 Stree, and 1 copy of Toucan Sam. We have triple copies of Maxi for draw power, 2 copies of Rise Up, break the opponent's board. We have triple copies of Floowandereeze and Journey Preparations, triple copies of Floowandereeze and the Magnificent Map, triple copies of Numbers in Veil, triple copies of Pot of Duality, triple copies of Pot of Prosperity, triple copies of No. We have 1 Terraforming, 1 Dreaming Town, and 1 Vanity's Emptiness. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 F0, bigger. We have 1 C1, 1 Rongo Raminia, 1 Pain Gainer, 1 Lucky Straight, 1 7 Sins, 1 Stealth Kraken, 1 Baguski, 1 Hope Harbinger, 1 Lancelot, 1 number 1, 1 Assembled Nightingale, 1 Downer Magician, and 1 copy of Zeus. Side deck here we have 1 Effect Veiler, 2 Nibiru, 2 copies of Token Collector, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storms, 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier, triple Harpy's Feather Storm, and 2 copies of Infinite Permanence here. Wrapping up a interesting take on Floowandereeze and the using of the extra deck resource in this deck. Next up here is Therions. Now we've stepped through and we've looked at how this deck works. Remember, this entire deck, based on the premise of stepping through their past comrades, basically being able to step up these really large boards here. And I see that we are doing some like interesting shenanigans here with Jet Synchron, actually. So, we can make Trishula here. That's interesting. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple copies of Effect Veiler, okay. We have 1 Jet Synchron, we have triple copies of Maxi for stalling out, drawing infinite goodies. 1 Nemesis Corridor. Oh, yes, we get to make Colossus. Okay. 2 copies of Raiden for milling. 1 copy of Bullseye. 1 copy of Duke Julie. Triple copies of Regulus. 1 copy of Leaper Fom. Triple copies of Borea. Then we have 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Triple copies of Charge the Light Brigade. 1 Crossout Designator, 1 Foolish Barrel, and we have triple copies of the Perpetual Engine Argrios system. Then we have triple copies of Pot of Prosperity, triple copies of Therion's Ring, the Coliseum Saucer. And then we have 2 copies of Infinite Permanence and 1 copy of the Therion's Cross here, wrapping up the main deck. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 copy of the World Gears of Therugia Darumigi, 1 copy of Auroradon, 1 Hulk. Guess who's back? Dragugalong for those beautiful OTKs. We also have 1 Hope Harbinger, 1 Number 100, 1 Zeus, 1 Dingrisu, 1 Alce, 1 Zero Trishula. Alright, we also have 1 Little Trishula, 1 Psychic End Punisher, 1 Cupid Pitch, 1 Borreload, and 1 copy of Colossus. Side deck here we have 2 Alpha, 1 Pankrotop Sled, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, triple copies of the Meteor, 1 copy of Token Collector, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier, and 1 copy of Vanity's Emptiness here, wrapping up a very interesting take on Therions. Next up is, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is branded Altergeist. Yes, we've went ahead and we splashed 1 singular Fallen of Albaz into our strategy here so that we could get access to kind of basically BMing the opponent. Is almost what I feel like here. You still get access to like multi-faker shenanigans here, which you just kind of laugh at your opponent as you just do Altergeist shenanigans. I don't know what your opponent's really supposed to do about this, to be honest with you. So we have triple copies of Marionetter, triple copies of Meluzik, 2 copies of multi-faker, of course. We actually play the 1 copy Pukari. Alright, that's basic stuff. 2 copies of Siliquitos for bouncing, triple copies of Ash Blossom for hand trapping, 1 Fallen of Albaz, only 1. I almost argue for 2, but okay. Triple Maxi for draw power. We have triple copies of Branded Fusion, 1 copy of 1 for 1, triple copies Pot of Extravagance, 1 Prosperity, we have 1 Manifestation, of course the triple protocol, 1 IO, triple copies of Infinite Permanence, triple copies of Personal Spoofing, 2 copies of Rivalry of the Warlords, and 2 copies of Solemn Strike here, wrapping up the main deck. Right here in the extra deck we have 1 Almirage, the 1 Link Rebo. We have 2 copies of Prime Banshee, 1 Memory Gant, triple Hextia, triple Mirror Jade, triple Lubellion, and 1 copy of Albion here, wrapping up the extra deck. Down here in the side deck, we have 2 copies of Effect Veiler, 1 copy of Ghostball in the Haunted Mansion, 1 copy of Ghost Ogre, triple copies of Space Rock, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance, triple copies of Dimensional Bear, and triple copies of Evenly Matched, wrapping up basically a trap version with a Splash Albaz engine that'll use that Albaz engine to kind of capitalize and punish the opponent. And I do think that that's probably one of the reasons why you can see something like Altergeist functioning so well here, because you can board break with Mirror Jade and then just use your trap cards to kind of recover. And the last list I have for you guys here is more Sky Striker. I just want to continue to give a shout out here to Linkage. This card is bonkers good, ladies and gentlemen, and I do very forwardly say that once we get this card, yeah, this deck's going to get a lot more fun. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple copies of Effect Veiler, 2 copies of Ghost Ball in the Haunted Mansion, triple copies of Maxi, triple copies of Ray, and 1 copy of Rose. And then we have 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Chicken Game, 2 Desires for draw power, 1 Rhoda, 1 Area Zero, 1 Afterburners, 1 Hornet Drones, 2 Shark Cannons, 2 Widow Anchors, 2 copies of Multi-Roll, 2 copies of Engage, triple copies of Linkage, 1 Terraforming, 1 copy of Upstart Goblin, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence here, wrapping up the main deck. Down here in the extra deck, got 2 copies of Zeke, triple copies of Shizuku, 1 Kaina, 1 Kagari, triple copies of Hayate, 1 copy of Celine, 1 Unicorn, 1 Umbral Dark for reviving, 1 Hulk, and 1 copy of Access Code. Side deck here we have 1 DD Crow, 1 copy of Pankratops, 1 Ghost Ogre, 2 copies of Nibiru, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, triple MST, triple copies of Dimensional Bear, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up, once again, an interesting chunk of OCG deck profiles for you guys. So is there anything here that really kind of catches your fancy? Anything that you think will be good here in the TCG? I guarantee you a good chunk of this stuff will actually kind of make a splash on the metagame. So guys, leave a comment about what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button. So guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on today with some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.